Hey, so I was actually going to make a video on the outcome of the Brexit result, and then I was going to make a video on issues around migration, and how I feel both left and right are wrong on that. But go make this issue about a slightly different but somewhat connected subject. And I'm doing so because, to be honest, pissed off to high heaven right now, to put it quite bluntly. Um, I was on a forum today where I was sort of debating with some people in Hong Kong, as it turns out. Now, one of those people I happen to be connected with on Facebook, hence I responded to his post. And he and the people on the forum that he had he's a journalist, and the people on his forum that he had that were responding there were all sort of giving this impression about how racist Britain is. And I deeply resented that. Anyway, they were saying some of them had lived here and that was their experience. Now, I explicitly said that I'm sorry they went through that experience, and that was that. And we had the back and forth, and eventually I apologized because I'd overreacted a little bit. But after all was said and done, after I put a post saying I apologized to people I overreacted to and so on, someone came out with this post that really got me fucked off. And basically, the post was from Everyday Feminism. That was the forum, and it basically said it was talking about white splaining, as they call it. Just having a cigarette because, hey, it's an angry cigarette. Yeah, white splaining. In in the argument of this article, it was basically going along the lines of if you're a white person, you cannot debate with non-white people about anything to do with issues connected with racism. That is basically the height of it. So, what this insinuates is that if you're a white person and you question a sweeping statement, such as the British are all racist, that somehow is, you can't do that. Now, the rationale behind this is that traditionally there was institutional white racism and so on, and I'm well aware of the historical context, but I think it is thoroughly obnoxious trying to silence someone with shame with such an obnoxious term as white-splaining. This is something that's been cooked up by so-called progressives that try and silence debate. That is it. The same people came up with the term mansplaining, which is basically that a man can't have an opinion on gender issues because he's a man. That's basically it. Um, White people can't have an opinion on racism because they're white. So if you're a white male, you better shut up. Otherwise, and maybe it gets under my skin more than it should do. But I gave a pretty angry response because I bitterly resented the condescending nature of her post. Like, this is someone who's never met me, and one of my problems probably is that I care too much what people think. I'll be honest about that. It's one of my weaknesses. I do care too much about what other people think, but I'm also assertive enough that I do not like people misinterpreting me on a public forum. So I got really fucked off by that. So, if you're a progressive and you believe in these terms, mansplaining or white-splaining, understand that you're being just as obnoxious, just as close-minded as the people that you purport to be attacking. If you're talking about mansplaining, you're basically saying that men can't have an opinion on gender issues. Men can't talk about, for example, issues that disproportionately impact men, or white people can never, ever, ever, ever talk about racism. Now, anti-white racism does exist, actually, and there are Asian racists, there are black racists, and there are Hispanic racists. It just fucks me off that this incredibly narrow thinking that basically pushes people into groups and says, "Oh, you're from that group, so you can't complain about this," or "You're from this group, so you can't mention that." Look, everyone is individuals, right? And just because you come from a particular demographic doesn't mean you're either automatically privileged or automatically downtrodden. It's a very divisive attitude. So what I want to say is fuck mansplaining and fuck whitesplaining. They're both pompous terms that have been cooked up by a very, very small number of people to try and silence debate. That's it. Certainly, where there is genuine misogyny or genuine racism, it should be condemned. Of course, it should. But you can't just silence debate and shame people into silence that sort of way with these cooked up, invented terms that mean nothing. Well, they mean something to the people who've cooked them up. So, yeah, I'm pretty fucked off by that. And to any women or minority people who are watching this, please, please, please don't think that I'm an angry white man who. It's not like that. It's just about saying, look, this is not fair. It's not fair to say that certain type of people can't have an opinion because of things that are beyond their control. I can't choose if I'm male or female, and I can't choose if I'm black or white. So it's stupid to say just because of the demographic that someone comes from, they can't have an opinion. The very point about freedom of expression is that everyone should be able to have an opinion. Just because you disagree with someone's opinion doesn't mean you can shame them into silence. Sure, disagree with them, but I just think it's forly ah that really fucked me off. Um, Final few words. Women can be sexist, and non-white people can be racist. This is common sense. Thanks for watching.